everyone, and welcome back to the Candy Shop. As always, I'm your girl, Candy, and today we are going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So this past episode wasn't that exciting, I would say. It was kind of flat given everything that happened this season so far. So we can do a entire mid-season recap, and of course I'm going to give you my conspiracy theory on, did Diana actually accidentally confirm that she is a madam, that book room 23 was actually a sort of menu for her call girls? Did she accidentally confirm this? You guys know me, I'm huge on conspiracy theories, and I always really listen to what the ladies say. What do the ladies actually say on the show? And so let's dive into the conspiracy theory, and then you guys can let me know if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, what the deal is. But yeah, so episode 6 of this season, season 12, if you guys notice that when Diana is in her confessional and they're talking about book 23, what she says is, it was the idea of it being, like a sex trafficking, me prostituting young women, the idea is so outrageous. I can't believe they caught on. Or it caught on, whatever she said. But go back to season 12, episode 6, and she says this in her confessional. Now, when I hear someone say, wow, I can't believe they actually caught on, to me, that means you're confirming. You're confirming what happened. And she says it. And I think, again, because she's from Bosnia, she says it every other word out of her mouth. And no offense, obviously. But I think there might be the language barrier. So she didn't realize that she was actually telling on herself when she said this. She said, I can't believe they actually caught on. Or it caught on because it's so outrageous. And to me, if you're catching on to something, that means that you actually caught on to the truth. So to me, and again, just my opinion, all alleged, I think that Diana accidentally told on herself when she said that. Because if you say to me, catch on, that means you're catching on to the truth. So let's get into it. Let's get into the rest of the season, the rest of the episode. All right, so I'm just going to go through the different dynamics of the women and see what happens. So let's start with Crystal versus Sutton. So for me, when it comes to Crystal versus Sutton, obviously, hey, Kamiko, how are you? Hey, I'm using a new microphone, so let me know if you can hear me okay, if the audio is clear. Hey, Kamiko. That's right, you guys. As you come in, be sure to say hi, drop your candy canes, and ask any questions you have. I already said my conspiracy theory, so if you didn't catch it, let me know, and we can do it again. Hey, sweetheart. That's right. Hey, Vaca. Hey, Kamiko. Hey, Vaca. What's up? Yay, it's good. All right. Sounds good. All right, let's get into it. So when it comes to Crystal versus Sutton, I am 100% Team Sutton. I'm going to break down Crystal. And in trigger warning, I'm going to talk about her eating disorder. I'm going to be as sensitive as possible around it, but I still want to be honest with my opinion. So to me, when it comes to Crystal, I feel like she's grasping at straws for a storyline and for relevant and to be relevant, right? Because Crystal really is kind of boring. She doesn't have any storyline of her own. She doesn't really bring that much to the show. So I think she kind of had to resurrect this whole feud with Sutton, being like, oh, she said something dark. She said something dark. And you're just like, what was the dark thing she said? It turned out to be a big nothing burger. And then I want to be respectful to anyone who has or have had or unfortunately will have a battle with eating disorders or an ED or anything like that. But I kind of think she's milking it to have a storyline, because it kind of came out of nowhere this last episode. Like, she's talked about it in the past, but this episode, it kind of just came out of nowhere. And I think she's really grasping at straws in order to stay relevant, in order to have a storyline on the show, because she doesn't really have one. And the whole thing with her beefing with the 14 women in Beverly Hills. So again, this is all alleged. This is all just word on the street. Apparently what happened with that is that she was, friends with these like 14 Beverly Hills women. And then some of the women in that friend group, they were being courted to be on the show. And Crystal would be like, oh, no, that's so beneath us. I would never go on the show. I can't believe you would stoop that low, blah, blah, blah. But then the whole time, Crystal behind the scenes was trying to get herself on the show. So she was trying to discourage all the other women from applying so that when it came to her, she would get the spot. And then she also did what she did on this season. She held something that she found to be weird or something that happened to her back, and then she blew up at the person. But I think that's more of Crystal's personality, because she's very codependent, she's very needy, she lacks a lot of self-esteem. So I get how someone could say something to her, she holds it in, and then later on it pops out, because that's just how a lot of codependent people operate. So I think that was the whole thing with Crystal and Sutton. When it comes to Garcelle, hey, Miss G, what is up? Miss G says, hello, Candy and the Candy Canes. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? That's right, you guys. Say hi to come in and drop those candy canes. So then when it comes to, and if you guys have any questions, drop them in the box, and I'm happy to talk about it. Oh, you guys, this feels good. I have not done a reality recap in months. I have to do another episode so you guys can catch up with what I've been up to for the last few months. Very exciting stuff. So yeah. Anyway, let's get back to it. So when it comes to Garcelle versus Erika, and then with Kyle jumping in, let's get into that, because that is offensive on so many different levels. Oh, hey, Baka. She says, this is so nice. I'm happy you're watching. Yes, I caught up. I got all my other stuff out the way, so now I can catch up on my shows and be here for you guys. Yay. Honesty says, miss you. So glad to see you. You too, sweetheart. Yes. I've had a lot of great stuff going on behind the scenes, but I'm back because now my schedule has freed back up. So yes. And I'll do the conspiracy theory again, because I did at the very top. So people who are joining now, I'll do the conspiracy again in a little bit, where I think Diana told on herself about the book 23. Like she slipped up. Anywho, so let's talk about the Garcelle and Erika and Kyle whole debacle, because there's a lot of layers to that have not been talked about yet. The first is, we all know Erika allegedly, whatever. It's not even alleged because she said it, but still alleged, because nobody come after me. I had nothing for you. She was mixing her meds and cocktails. And so she's kind of had this very flat, wacky, wackadoodle out of it, just talking out of her mouth situation the entire season, right? And so she really put her foot in it when she went after Garcelle's sons. Like, first with Oliver being like, oh, I want a threesome with you and this, that, and the third. Sure, Oliver is an adult, but it's still derogatory and weird and just awkward to, in front of your friend, say to their child, even if it's an adult child, that you want to sleep with them and you want to do a threesome with their wife or his girlfriend, whoever she is to him, right? It's nasty. It's nasty. Miss me with that, Erika. And then with the whole thing that happened with Jax, Garcelle's beautiful son, and she was like, get the F out of here, get the F out of here. And she was being so derogatory and so disgusting with that. And then Kyle, when she hears about it, laughs. And Mauricio, like, yeah, I'm happy this happened. I'm happy she's blah, 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 blah. First of all, if Erika came sideways at Portia, who is literally the same age, Portia just turned 13 because she just had her Bauer bat mitzvah. And Garcelle's son is 14. So essentially they're the same age, 13, 14. If Erika came at Portia talking about get the F out of here and going off at Portia, Could you imagine what Kyle's and Mauricio's response would have been? So it's okay for Erika to be wasted and derogatory and cursing at Garcelle's child. You want to laugh and have a ha-ha about that, but how would you have responded if they did that to Portia? And Jax and Portia are basically the same age, 13 and 14. Absolutely disgusting. Kyle this season, she was vile last season. I've really not liked Kyle ever since the whole LVP thing. Oh, and I saw that LVP might be making a comeback to Beverly Hills. If she does, I want LVP and I want Denise Richards back, and I want both of them along with Sutton and Garcelle to tear up Kyle and Rinna. Erika is just a lost cause. Forget her. She's not even worth it. Well, let me see what you guys are saying. Hey, Miss T, Erika is trying to get us talking. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. The baby mama comment was so rude. Extremely rude. And that's another thing. I'm happy you brought that up. The baby mama comment was extremely rude, and that's also undertones of racism. You know what I mean? Oh, is it the baby mama? You know what I mean? That microaggression. And also how she's like, oh, he's 16. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Even if he was 16, which he's not, it is still inappropriate. And also, the bigger issue, again, Black children are always treated as if they are adults. Like, oh, I think that's funny you're saying that to her kid. Oh, he's 16, whatever. But if it was a white child, it would have been completely different. Black children are always overly sexualized and over, I don't know what the word is, adultified, I don't know. But they don't ever look at Black children as just being young and innocent. Because I promise you, if Erika treated Portia the way she treated Jax, it would have been a very, very different reaction. And they are basically the same exact age. They are both children. Yes, April B. Yes, the adultification of Black children, 100%, 100%. Erika B. also says Erika was giving Raggedy Doll of energy. Yes. Hey, Mrs. D. Erika went nuts a few seasons ago when her son, and was pissed exactly, and her son was a full adult grown cop. You have a literal meltdown over caviar and champagne because somebody made a comment about your adult grown son, who, by the way, was still living at home, but whatever, to each their own, adult grown cop son. And yet you have the audacity to tell somebody else that you want to sleep with their child, and then you also want to tell their other child to get the F off. Miss me with all that. Miss me with it. Hey, Vaca, right, the Mauricio as a person of color should know better. He should know better. He really should. But again, it also goes back to like the different types of racism and colorism, you know? Sometimes just because you're a person of color doesn't mean you still view Black people the same. That's another thing. You know what I mean? Just because you're a person of color, Asian, Latino, whatever, that doesn't mean you view Black people the same. People from Africa don't even view African Americans the same. You know what I mean? Hey, Miss T, Denise got aired out again on Girls Trip by Tamra. I don't see her coming back. But you know what? I still think Brandy is lying. I do. I don't believe that Denise and Brandy hooked up. I still think that Brandy is lying. And Tamra, I don't know what Tamra's doing. I think Tamra was very thirsty. I think that, you know, she's out here calling Jill Zara and thirsty, but Tamra, you're thirsty. If Denise is your alleged friend of 10 years and you get yourself up here on Girls Trip because you're trying to get your job back, which, by the way, she got her job back. You're up here on Girls Trip trying to get your job back because you were fired off of the OC. Now you want to throw your friend under the bus, being like, oh yeah, she was trying to come on to me at BravoCon. The math isn't mathing, Tamra. You're saying you've been friends with her for 10 years. So if you've been friends with a person for 10 whole years and she's never come on to you, you've never had any sexual altercations or anything, and all of a sudden, now because it's a hot ticket, it's a hot thing, 10 years of friendship, all of a sudden she wants to try and get you to come to her hotel room at BravoCon? Make it make sense. Hey, Lala Chanel, what is up, sweetheart? She says, hey, Candy the Candy Canes. Hey, what is up? Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. April B says, there's a ton of psychological studies supporting it. Yes, exactly. Okay, so let's see. Hey, Baka, she goes, what? LOL, I believe Brandy. I just never saw it for Denise, so I am biased too. me too. I don't know. I don't believe. I think Brandy's lying. And Jeffrey Lewis, who's like, he's a big Bravo guy and he has the stuff. He's also said he knew the truth, and he said that Brandy was lying and it didn't happen. I don't think that Denise did that. I don't. Kimiko says, I don't believe Brandy. I don't believe Brandy either. I think she's lying. And I don't believe Tamra. What I think, when it comes to Tamra, it's one of two things. Either one, she's strategically trying to make herself relevant and get her orange back, which she did by jumping on the whole scandal, or she's just kind of off in her head and she's deciding that Denise being like, hey, what are you doing at Bravo? Do you want to hang out, as good girlfriends do? If I was at a conference and my friend of 10 years were there, of course I'm going to be like, hey, come into my hotel room. Hey, let's hang out. I've known you for 10 years, allegedly. But I think the timing is very suspicious with Tamra's story. You're telling me you've been friends with Brandy for 10 years and nothing has gone down, and then all of a sudden at BravoCon, after she's had a whole scandal about trying to allegedly hooking up with her other co-star, now she decides to come on to you at BravoCon? Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense. I'm friends with someone for 10 years. They're coming on to me within those 10 years. They're not coming on to me after they've gotten ousted for a scandal. At the place, the scandal, where the biggest people at the scandal were. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. I think Tamra was being thirsty. I think she saw a moment and she got her orange back. That's what I think happened with Tamra. April, Brandy has a facto score of 350. Hey, Miss T. I think Erika might have a fetish for black men. Of course, girl. Of course she has a fetish for black men. Of course. Of course, of course, of course, of course, of course. Look at how Erika is a Kardashian type chick. You see what I'm saying? Appropriate the culture, go after the men, disrespect the women. Same exact formula. Erika, her whole hairstyles is nothing new. You go down to Inglewood, any other woman would be slaying with the hair. Her whole, she acts like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with the Kardashians with their fake bodies. Now they're getting everything diluted and taken out and deflated because now they're being weird, anorexic people. And that's a whole different subject. I don't even like talking about them. Again, alleged, just my opinion. But same exact thing. Appropriate the culture, go after the men, disrespect the women. The Kardashians disrespect black women all day. Erika too. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Yay! Hey, Miss T, she goes, Erika is so jealous of Dirty Diana's life. Yes, Erika is extremely jealous of Dirty Diana's life and also wanting to cozy up to her because I think she identifies with her. You know, a woman who came from humble means, and obviously there's nothing wrong with that by any shape or form, but then kind of got their come up through sex and sexuality and selling sex. So this is a good segue. I'm now gonna say again what I thought about the conspiracy theory. Okay, I'm gonna go back into that because I said it at the top, but a lot of people have joined since. And let me know if you agree or not. So the reason why I say Diana accidentally confirmed the rumors, again, this is all alleged, about the book Room 23 really just sort of being this sort of catalog for high class, whatever you want to call it, prostitutes and call women and all that stuff, because it's coming out how she was friends with like Lindsay Lohan and Hayden Panettiere and Amanda Bynes, all these sort of socialites, and she essentially was, and Lisa Rinna was in there, and all these other people were in there, and she was essentially, and again, this is all alleged, pimping these girls out to these like rich Saudi Arabian international men, you know, so these like rich men overseas. Essentially, she was pimping these girls out to them. So they would have like a fetish for like young, whatever it is. And so she was basically the madam for them. She was basically their pimp. And that's how she got her money. And that's probably how her husband got his money, you know, on the back end. And allegedly, she also was kind of like a call girl situation, how she got with her husband. And then they took it up because I don't know how they have all that money. And she's been seen with people like Jeffrey Epstein and all of that stuff. And a lot of people do the prostitution and the human trafficking through like, oh, we're doing fundraisers and philanthropy and my celebrity friends. And it's all this big front to laundry money and to traffic the women. And if you think about it, and again, this is all just alleged rumors out there. I'm not saying this is true, but Amanda Bynes lost her mind. Look what happened to her. She was getting face tattoos. She absolutely lost her mind, you know. And then Hayden Panettiere also lost her mind. You know, she was out there fighting the father of her child and doing all the drugs, and now she's trying to make a comeback. You know, she's on the cover of People magazine. I was on top of the world and ruined my life. Look what happened to Lindsay Lohan. She lost her mind, went off the deep end, and wasn't she in Dubai doing all that stuff? And she, you know, Saudi Arabia, same exact international circle that Diana Jenkins' men were in. I don't know the ethnicity of Lindsay Lohan's husband, but I don't think he's American. So there has been the girls that they were saying that she was pimping out. A lot of them have had a lot of drug and mental issues. Which, could you imagine? You know, you're being pimped out to these men. I don't care if you're a celebrity. I don't care what the situation is. If you're being pimped out to men, that is going to have a effect on you. And all those stories come out about child stars, how they've been abused and all of this stuff. So am I saying it's the truth? No, I don't know. It's all alleged. In my opinion, do I believe it? Yes, 100%. And the way I think Diana really told on herself, season 12, episode 6. I have a screenshot of it, but I'm not going to show it because I don't want any of those people coming after me for copyright or whatever crap. But if you want to go and confirm it yourself, season 12, episode 6. Diana's in her confessional, and the producers are doing their whole thing, and they're like, oh, so you're not an international sex trafficker, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, that's so crazy. It's so absurd. What are you talking about? Absolutely not. But then she says, and remember, she's from Bosnia. English is her second language. She says, oh, it's so far-fetched. It's so far out there. I can't believe that it caught on. Caught on? When you say someone is catching on, it means that someone is getting hip to your lies. That they're seeing the truth, right? Like, oh, I've been lying to you this whole time. I can't believe we finally caught on. And that's what she said. She was like, oh, it was so absurd. I can't believe that they caught on. And then in that moment, I was like, so it's true, and your slip is showing. And you didn't. I don't think she realized it was. You know, like in the moment when you're talking and you're trying to keep up with your own lies, and you just subconsciously you let it slip. Because to me, if I say someone is catching on to something, you're catching on to the lie. You're catching on to the con. You're catching on to the scam. And that's what she said. Almost like she thought like, oh, it's so crazy what we're doing, trafficking these women and the drugs and all that stuff. I can't believe people would actually believe it. I can't believe they actually caught on. That's essentially what she said. And I believe people, when people tell you who they are, believe them. I think she accidentally really told on herself in that moment. It's episode 6. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Hey, Lala. She goes, I think Brandy's lying too. Yup, I still think she lied on LVP as well. I think she 100% lied on LVP. 100%. And let's not forget, Brandy slapped LVP in her face and had 0 repercussions. 0. Nobody called her aggressive. Nobody called her angry. Nobody made her make a statement about, this is not how we want to represent white women on television. Nope. Andy Cohen had no statement about that. He thought it was funny. So when Brandy slaps someone, it's funny. But let a black woman slap someone, it's, Bravo does not condone violence. I think Brandy's a whole liar. I think she lied about a lot of stuff. Hey, Upper Beach says, I'm tired of Diana and her coke licking, her C-word licking energy. Yup. She's about as interesting as Teddy M. I agree. I'm so tired of Diana. And her whole trying to make a moment, oh, you need a new villain. There's a new villain. Child, you're not a villain. You're not interesting enough to be a villain. You're a madam, allegedly. You're a madam. You're a pimp. You sell women to other men for money, allegedly. That's what you do and who you are, allegedly. You're not, well, I guess you are a villain, but not when it comes to this. Okay, Missy says, Tamra couldn't tell the story right. Exactly. I don't believe Tamra. I think Tamra was being an opportunist. I think she took an opportunity. Either Denise was sitting or something like, hey girl, let's hang out. And she's like, oh, I could use this. Or she just made something up in order in the moment. But I really do think that Tamra was being an opportunist. April B says she's great value Kardashian. Exactly. Hey, Lala Chanel. She goes, Erika needs to worry about that snow in Pasadena. Why do you think she is on a lot of meds and a lot of cocktails all of the time, right? She's on a lot of meds and a lot of cocktails all of the time because she's probably stressed out. She has a lawsuit against her every other day. Every other day. Hey, Vaca. Yeah, Erika definitely does. And she always wants to speak Garcelle's language. Yeah, it's like, you're not invited to the cookout, Erika. Like, I'm confused. Like, you're not invited to the cookout, Erika. I don't know who told you that you were, but you're not. You're not invited. Hey, Miss T, Erika's saying she has money still. I think she does. She still has money because they're hiding it. They either put it on some secret offshore account under the mattress, in a bank account under somebody else's name, and houses under somebody else's name, or they stole somebody's social security number and they're just doing fraud. But yes, they definitely have money because think about it. She still has money to pay for her rental in West Hollywood, which is not cheap. I'm sorry, it's not. It may not be where she was at, but it's not cheap. Who's paying for that rental? She still has clothes. She still has her squad, her glam squad. They traveled with her, and the other girls didn't even travel with their glam squad. But yet Erika is still traveling. Where is the money coming from? Where is the money coming from? I'm confused. I guess it's just the show money, but that should be going to the victims. Hey, Miss T, Dorit Diana has to go. I just can't with her. She really does have to go. And if I was Kathy Hilton, I would tell Bravo, stop trying to say that she was my friend on the show. Because then I'm like, well, if Diana is allegedly a pimp, she pimps out, B-list, A-list, C-list, and just models and actresses and all that to these wealthy men, and you want to say she's friends up, then what about Paris? What about Nikki? Nikki and Paris was best friends with Lindsay Lohan and that whole crew, and the Amanda Bynes crew, all the crew who lost their minds and whatever. So, and Paris had her own breakdown with everything. She had her own sex tape. So I would be, if I was Kathy Hilton, I'd be like, stop saying she's a friend of me coming on the show, which is what they were trying to do. But the truth is, Diana was actually friends with Lisa Rinna. Rinna and Diana are actually the ones that have been friends for years. And Rinna was in that book. I'm not saying this is a fact. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying this is my opinion. Allegedly. Do I think Lisa Rinna would pimp herself out? Yes. Do I think Lisa Rinna would pimp her own daughters out? Sounds harsh. But yes, I do. And that is just my opinion. Alleged. Yes. Lala Chanel says, exactly, I agree. Miss T Stir Diana, stop licking that bottom lip. It's bizarre. And also, did anybody else wonder, I'm also confused. Why did Diana come in so hard for Sutton? She came on with a hard on for Sutton. A real hard on. Going at her over and over and over again. It just doesn't even, I didn't get it. Everything Sutton said, maybe it's a Crystal thing, where it's Diana sees in Sutton what she actually wishes she was, this sort of woman who's become a socialite who has money, but by all accounts, Sutton's money is actually legit. I don't know, because I think Crystal kind of had that same situation. Hey Lala, she goes, when you connect the dots, it all adds up. It does. Yep. It does. It all adds up 100%. Baka says, yes, absolutely. Didi is guilty. Yes. Allegedly, in our opinion. I mean, come on now. Come on. Miss T, I knew it was real when Diana tried to pretend she talked about the book. Yep. 100%. Hey Lala, exactly. Diana has Heidi Fleiss energy. Exactly. And I hate it when they say, oh, Miss T says Candace and Portia will be on season 3. They better not fight. I really hope they don't. I really hope they don't fight each other. I really hope they don't. But no, but you're right. Diana does have Heidi Fleiss energy, 100%. And I hate how it's, oh, these are high class prostitutes, high class hookers. What is the difference between a high class hooker and a prostitute? They're all the same. But again, it's like, if a person looks a certain way and comes from a certain demographic, then all of a sudden it's high class, A-list. It's like, no, you're still just selling your body for money. Still the same thing. And I actually, no, and let me say this. I want to be like, I personally think that prostitution should be legalized. I think it should be legalized so that people who, I think the correct term is a sex worker. So I want to be respectful to anyone who chooses that lifestyle. I think it should be legalized so that women and men and whoever chooses to do this type of work are protected. Because there's a difference between someone who chooses to be a sex worker and this is their line of employment and that is 100% their choice, versus someone who is being sex trafficked, pimped out, and all these things. And there's so much of that. So I want to be clear that I'm by no means am I putting down people who are sex workers, but people like Diana, allegedly, who exploit women, who use other women, who traffic women. That is what I have a problem with. That is the issue. You know what I mean? When you exploit women, when you use them, when you abuse them, when they're assaulted, when they're trafficked, when it's against their will, when there's no consent, that is what I have an issue with. And I think that this country, not to get too political, but with everything going on in the world, this country has just been failing women over and over and over and over again. So it's not even about the selling of the body. If it's your body, you do what you want with it. Ideally, you would have laws in place to protect people, women, men, or whatever, who choose that line of work. Unfortunately, those protections are not in place. What I have the issue in is with people like these Heidi Fleisses, Dianas, allegedly, who exploit women and abuse them. You know what I mean? Miss T says, Erika is saying all the victims are lying. This is the thing with Erika. And again, alleged. She is clearly still in cahoots with Tom. Do I think he's suffering from memory loss, Alzheimer's, mental dementia? No, I don't. And again, my opinion, alleged. And this is no disrespect to people who actually, and that's another thing. I think it's disrespectful to lie and pretend like you have these illnesses when there are people who truly do. There are people who truly suffer from these illnesses. There are people who truly have lost loved ones and families and their memory, right? And so I think it's disgusting to do that because by all accounts, Tom Girardi literally just used that because it was a convenient excuse. I think what he said was, do I want to go to jail or do I want to go to a senior citizen's home? And he picked a senior citizen's home because I think he really saw those were the two options. Do I go to jail or do I go to a retirement home? And he picked the retirement home. And I thought Erika used to say, oh, I can't be in contact with him. But then she's admitting that she's in contact with him just to keep the whole story going of he doesn't remember, blah, 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 all this other stuff. Again, people timing. timing. I don't believe in coincidences. The timing of it all. If he had this problem before he was exposed for the alleged fraud, sure. But all of a sudden, when you know that it's coming out, when you know you can no longer hide from all of the lawsuits of your, I'm saying alleged, but you know what I mean, fraud, all of a sudden you need to go to a memory home. Come on. We know the deal. And Erika should be ashamed of herself. Ashamed. Hey, Lala. Yup, if I was Kathy, I wouldn't claim her. Oh, I would not claim her. Absolutely not. Miss T, Dorit was kissing Jamie Lee Curtis' ass bad. She is so fake. Oh, chic. That is so chic. Oh, chic. That is so chic. That is so chic. Chic. Yeah, Dorit was. It's like a lot. Like, act like you've been here before, Dorit. Have some decorum. Like, relax. You know what I mean? And I'm sort of like, Jamie Lee, you want to talk about actual A-list. You want to talk about actual, like, Hollywood royalty. Like, why are you on the show, Jamie Lee? Like, you are so above this. But publicity is publicity, right? If you have a cause, you have a cause. Hey, Miss T, do you believe Dorit's robbery story? She was working my last nerve with that sad fishing. Oof. Okay, when it comes to Dorit's robbery story, I'm on the fence. When I first saw it, I thought, yeah, this really happened to her, and this is really sad, and she has trauma and all this stuff. But then everyone was saying, no, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. So I kind of got double-minded with it. I don't know. Like, Dorit is always low-key annoying. So I don't know if that's just like her being annoying because that's kind of how she is, or I just don't know if she's that good of an actress to have that type of foresight. Because what she was displaying really was, side effects of trauma. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm up in the air with that one. I don't know. Hey, Lala. Yep, I think Diana is jealous of Sutton 100%. Because it made no sense. She came in too hot for Sutton. Because if you really think about it, Sutton really is sort of that epitome of what a housewife is. Even though she's divorced, if she had a husband, it'd be checks all the boxes. But she really kind of embodies what a housewife is. And I think like the Crystals and the Dianas are really jealous of that. Even the Erikas, low-key. Hey, Lala. She goes, I agree with you 100%. The legalization of sex work, would be beneficial for the safety of those who choose to work in that field, 100%. Diana, on the other hand, does not fit into that category. I agree. No, because she is a person, allegedly, who is exploiting women, men, whoever, for her own gain and at their own detriment. And that's why we need laws in place to protect people who choose to go into that field, not the people who are trafficking people. Hey, Miss T, Sutton needs to wake up. Kyle and friends are coming for her. They're coming for her hard. Kyle, to me, has been so cliche. Vile Kyle. Vile Kyle. Like, just so, ugh. Like, when she has this, like, when she interrupted Diana and Sutton, when they were having a conversation about the miscarriages and bed rest and all this, that, and the third, she came into the middle of a conversation with a bias against Sutton, doing weird eyes with Diana. And how dare she, when Sutton was like, oh, I've had 2 miscarriages, and she's trying to connect with Diana, how dare she be like, oh, well, we never heard this before. Where is this coming from? What? It's like, Kyle, just shut up and go back and do your splits that nobody wants to see, okay? Go get your husband, because he's probably with the waitress, allegedly. Go get your husband, okay? And leave us alone. The fact that she said, you've never said this before, blah, 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 we have never heard this. It's like, and who the hell are you, Kyle? Are you the authority on Sutton's life? Are you the authority? Like, does Sutton have to tell you when she's using the bathroom? Does Sutton have to tell you, when she has her period, does Sutton have to tell? Like, I'm confused, Kyle. Like, how are you you never said this. Like, why would Sutton share something so sensitive and traumatic as losing a pregnancy or a baby, however you want to frame it, with you? When you and your friends, other than Garcelle, have done nothing but to shame Sutton, make fun of her, put her down. Everybody was talking crap about Sutton except for Garcelle. So why would Sutton share that with you, Kyle? Kyle just needs to go away completely. And then when she kept interjecting when Garcelle was talking to Erika, well, she just meant, shut up, Kyle, shut up. And I love how Garcelle put her in her place. She goes, I'm talking to her. And she was like, and this is why I say you jump ship. And then Cherie came in. Cherie, right? That's what I'm loving on the show, by the way. I hope they give her diamonds. And she's like, see, this is when you need to be neutral. Pipe down. This is when you need to stop out. Because why is Kyle interjecting herself in everybody's business? Oh, wait, that's right. Because Kyle has no storyline of her own. What is Kyle's storyline? I'll wait. What is Kyle's storyline? Kyle interjects herself into every conversation, into every storyline, because she, A, doesn't have anything going on in her own life, and B, she doesn't want anybody asking questions about Mauricio's lawsuits or Mauricio's cheating scandals or what's going on there. And she's taken her family over to Netflix. They have a new show called Buying Beverly Hills. Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Miss T says Jamie left very quickly. Yes. Yes, she did. She's like, and scene. Miss T, Kyle is trying to produce the season 100% and the work is showing. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, and I stopped watching because I was doing recaps, but I stopped watching Love and Marriage Huntsville because it got so dark. It got real dark. And Kyle is giving me Melody vibes, where every scene she comes in and she's asking certain questions, she's saying certain things, and she's stirring the pot, but she's actually not talking about anything in her own life. And it's all very contrived and all really produced, 100%. Lala Chanel says, Dorit makes me cringe. Yeah. There was like one season I enjoyed Dorit. Maybe it was not last season. Maybe it was the season before that. Other than that, I'm just like, Dorit, girl, bye. Misty says, Erika giving Crystal advice with laxatives. I have a couple of things to say about that. One, the only reason why I'm not going to go in on Erika with this is because I have very little sympathy for Erika, obviously, with everything that is going on. But what it really showed was that Erika clearly doesn't even have the awareness and the consciousness that she too struggles with an eating disorder. Because if you're saying, oh, well, when I feel like guilty from what I ate, I just use laxatives because instead of throwing it up, I'd rather poop it out. That is also symptomatic of an eating disorder. If you eat food and then in your mind, you feel so guilty or whatever it is, and I've never had one. So again, I just want to be very respectful of anybody who's ever suffered from one or deals with that in their lives. So I'm only speaking from the perspective of watching it because I don't have personal experience with it. But if you, and what Crystal was saying, if you in your mind feel so guilty and you need to get your food out, the only reason why I'm not going after Erika is because Erika, like Diana, told on yourself. If the advice you're giving to someone is, and it's just like whatever, like, oh yeah, well, when I feel like I don't want food and like I feel guilty, I just take all these laxatives to poop it out. That is also symptomatic of an eating disorder. And people can have eating disorders and not be stick figures. It's not like that. You can have a problem and not look like a skeleton. You can binge eat and then purge and puke, you could do the laxative, like what Erika was saying. You could starve yourself or overeat or undereat or take, different medicine. There's all these different things that people do when they have an unhealthy relationship with their body and with food. And so the only reason why I'm not going in on Erika is because it made me sad, because I'm like, you too suffer from some form of eating disorder. You just don't even realize that you're sick. Like, Erika didn't even realize that what she was saying was a very sick thing to say and a very sick thing to do, because that's what she does. And she didn't even realize how sick she is. So she was identifying with Crystal because she too has an eating disorder. And to me, I was so confused how nobody on the show got that. None of the producers caught it. Garcelle didn't catch it. Crystal didn't catch it. They're all like, well, she was just drunk, and I don't know why she would give me that bad advice. She gave you that bad advice because she too has a problem with food and her body image, clearly. Because if you're talking to me and you're like saying what Crystal said, I would be like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Maybe you should talk to someone, get some help. Because I can't identify with that, because I don't have that problem. But if I had that problem, I'd be like, girl, when I eat too much, I poop it out. Here, take some laxatives. Stop throwing it up. Who's throwing it up? And you know what I mean? So that's the only grace I'm giving for Erika, because she, again, does not have the awareness that she too is sick. Hey, Lala Chanel, I don't trust Kyle. Absolutely not. Just based off of the way she treats Kim and Kathy, who are her blood sisters, she has no loyalty to anyone. The way she treated Kathy, the way she treated Kim, the way she treated Vanderpump. No, Kyle is so gross to me. So gross. Missy says Kyle was so drunk and her apology was BS. Kyle was, to me, I was kind of like, did Kyle take one of Erika's pills, allegedly? And that's just witty banter. I'm not saying anybody has anything to do with drugs or anything like that, because she seemed drunk, but also like weird, like kind of off a little bit, like, when you guys, like, just bizarre. And Kyle has been bizarre this whole season, the whole series, really. But for the last couple of seasons, it's been worse, I feel. Miss T says nobody has a storyline. What's really going on? I mean, I'm like entertained, but like, who really has the storyline? Garcelle is, I just like Garcelle, so I don't even care if she's storyline or not. She has her little beachfront house, whatever, but she's just great personality. Sutton has her little store, and she's on Bumble trying to match and stuff. What's going on with Rinna? Other than losing her mind on social media. Oh, you guys. Oh, I'm gonna go with these questions, and then I'm gonna tell you my theory on what Rinna really meant with her comment about Real Housewives of Dubai. Miss T, Melanie and Tiffany are the worst. Yeah, I stopped watching the show. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not recapping that. I had to. Lola Chanel, Kyle tries to make fetch happen. Exactly. Miss T, Erika definitely has issues. So many issues. If you don't bat an eye and you're like, yeah, I just use laxatives, you too are sick. That's not healthy. Miss T, Sheree is a good fit. Garcelle definitely needs a black backup. I agree. I think Sheree is a great fit. I hope she gets her diamond. Okay, you guys, so let's get into what I think what's her name? Rinna actually meant with her comment about, oh, everybody gets upset if I say anything to Garcelle. If I go after Garcelle, everyone says I'm racist. Well, you guys, she said some other whack crap. And then she was like, well, if you can't handle it, then go watch Dubai. I think the spin was wrong. Everybody was just like, oh, is she saying like, because Dubai, like their ratings, or because, I don't know what the people were saying. I heard some commenters and some people, but that's not what I thought at all. Why is she talking about like the girls of Dubai and like the Carolyn Brooks weighed in, and Chanel Iman and Lisa and like the black girls on the show weighed in about what Rinna was saying. What I think Rinna was getting across, and I'm not defending Rinna, this is what I think she meant. I still think I think what she said was, I think what she meant was messed up. Was messed up. And I also think that I think what she meant was messed up. But let me tell you what I think she meant. What I think she was trying to say was, oh, I'm white, Lisa Rinna. If I say anything to Black Garcelle, then all of a sudden I'm racist. Well, if I am so racist, then go watch Dubai, because Carolyn Stanbury, she is a white British woman, and she goes at it toe to toe with two of the Black girls on the show, with Chanel Iman and with Lisa. So she's like, oh, well, if I'm white and if I say anything to Black Garcelle and I'm racist, then go watch Dubai, because the Carolyn Stanbury on there, she's white and she goes after the Black girls on the show. That's the point I think Lisa Rinna was trying to make. Not talking about their ratings or not trying to bash the girls. I think her point was, oh, well, I'm a white woman and I say something to a Black woman, I'm racist. Well, if you can't handle me, then you can't handle that show, because that white woman goes after those Black girls all the time. How come you don't call her racist? How come you're not going after her? That's what I think Rinna was actually trying to say. I haven't heard anybody catch on to that. But that's also extremely racist and problematic. Oh, the reason why nobody calls Karen Stansbury racist when she goes head to head with the Black girls on the show is because she doesn't come at them in a racist way. You can have a white person and a Black person disagree and go back and forth without it being racist and without racism coming into it. But when you act racist, the way, in my opinion, Lisa Rinna does, when you act biased, when you dress up as a Nazi with your husband, when you say horrible things that has been documented time and time and time again against Black women, against Black people and people of color, then that is why people call you racist, Lisa Rinna, because you behave in a racist way. Not because you go toe to toe with a Black woman. And you actually don't go toe to toe with them because you actually don't have a comeback. You don't know how to read. Garcelle runs you around the streets every day, all day. The reason why people call you racist, Lisa Rinna, is because you act like a racist. And the reason why people don't call Caroline Stanbury racist, even though she goes head to head with Black women, is because she doesn't act like a racist. You see what I'm saying? Let me see what you guys are saying. Rinna can go. Rinna can go. I've never. Well, she says, your perspective about the Dubai comment seems spot on, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's what she was trying to say. And you're right. She would never say, go watch Roa. Exactly, because on Roa, it's all Black women going at it. She said Dubai because there is a white woman who goes at it with her Black castmates. But nobody has ever called Carolyn Stanbury, who's the white woman, racist, because she goes at it with them, woman to woman, girl to girl. She doesn't throw comments. She doesn't do microaggressions. She's not dressing up as a Nazi. She doesn't have all this past history of being racist, because she's not. Just because you're white and you're going at it with a Black person doesn't mean it's racist. And the fact that Lisa Rinna would even try to compare the two, your racism is showing. The fact that your mind would even think, oh, she's white and going after Black people, but nobody calls her racist. It's just me. I just, girl. You see, hey Lala, she goes, I still feel like Rinna has racist overtones in a lot of her comments. Exactly. People, like Lisa Rinna, people call you racist because you act like a racist. That's not Garcelle's fault. That's not the audience's fault. That's not the cast of The Real Housewives of Dubai's fault. That is your fault. So stop trying to act like you're a victim, because you're not a victim, Rinna. You're racist, in my opinion. You are. You acted. Even the fact that you would say, go watch Dubai, your racism slip is showing. And that's why people call you that, because you act like it. Hey, Joanne. She goes, yes, Caroline treats everyone like crap. I love Caroline Stanbury. Did you guys watch Ladies of London? Because she used to be on the Ladies of London show. She was like the queen bee. And then now she's on this show. But I like Kara. She's a mess. But she treats everybody like that. And she also doesn't have any racial, like, who said the comment? Lala Chanel, she made a great point. Rinna, her comments and the way and what she says and how she treats people, they do have this racial overtone to them. Whereas Caroline Stansberry do not. And that's why people treat Rinna and Caroline differently, because they act differently. It has nothing to do with race. You know what I mean? It's like Caroline Stanbury is white and Lena is white. Nobody is calling Stanbury racist just because she goes at it with black women, because she's not racist. Nothing that she talks about the experience, she talks about the facts, she talks about blah, 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 blah. She's drama, she's good for the show, whatever. But they never take it to that level because it doesn't have to go there, but Rinna does. So Rinna's not a victim. Nobody's trying to cancel Rinna. Nobody's trying to find fault in Rinna. You do it yourself. No one's making you say and do these things. This is who you are. Allegedly, in my opinion. Hey, Miss T, exactly. The fact that your comeback comment says everything. Yes, the fact that your comeback comment is go watch Dubai because there's a white woman and black women on there. Come on. It's ridiculous. Hey, Lala Chanel says exactly. I don't like Rinna. Me either. Rinna, it has always been a thirsty, evil snake from day one. Thirsty evil snake. Hey, Lala Chanel. She goes, I love Caroline on Lazyland, and me too. I think on Dubai, she's kind of getting lost in the shuffle with the other cast members because they have such vivacious personalities. Yeah, I agree. 100%. She's definitely getting lost in the shuffle, and she's not able to really exert her queen bee status because all of the ladies there in their own minds are the queen bee, right? Whereas on Ladies of London, the other women are very, very thirsty to be on Caroline's team and on her side because Caroline was the queen bee of that show. I agree. And I'll do a recap of Dubai because I watched that show and I actually really like it too. Yeah, but I agree. But when it comes to Chanel Iman, she annoys me. I'll get into it with the Dubai recap, but Chanel Iman, am I saying it right? It's Iman? She annoys me, man. She annoys me. Like, I feel like she needs to really work on herself. I like her friendship with Lisa, but girl, I don't know. We can save that for the Dubai recap. You guys, I think we covered it all. Is there anything we didn't cover, we didn't talk about? But yes, you guys, I am back. Hey, Joanne. She says they are more glamorous than Caroline, and she is an influencer. They are more glamorous. They are way more glamorous than her, and she doesn't shine as bright against these other women. That's 100% correct. But then the two women, I don't know if they're, I don't want to say are they Arabian, Pakistani, Indian? I don't want to misspeak because I want to be respectful of their heritage. But the two of them, they seem very it's tough. Miss T, Caroline has brought up a lot to do with her attitude. Caroline upbringing has a lot to do with her attitude. Exactly. Yeah. I think when it comes to Stanbury, I think that inside she's really soft and very vulnerable and very sensitive. So she puts up this sort of front because she doesn't want to get hurt. Because I think that she felt really abandoned by her parents when she went to when they sort of chucked her off to boarding school. And then Carolyn Brooks changed her tune real quick about taking her son to boarding school after she lost her mind. It's like, this is the thing. Don't ask my opinion about something and then lose your mind when you're triggered by my answer. But we can get into it when we do the Dubai recap. Miss T, Sarah bugs me. Oh, Chanel, right? Chanel annoys me too. Exactly, Chanel. Oh, Chanel irritates me. Too, I thought I was the only one. Everybody else keeps singing her praises. I feel like she's not being authentic and she created some kind of character for herself. Yes! No. Lala Chanel, we see each other. I agree. I'm always confused. I was like, oh, Aman. I'm so confused by it. I think I like Lisa the best. I think I might like Lisa the best, but we'll get into it. Let me get my stuff together and we can do a Dubai recap so we can get into that. So thank you guys for joining me for this recap for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And we will be back now that I've gotten all my, and I'm gonna do a recap on everything I've been up to so we can all catch up. Misty, who talks to their friends like that? Aman? Exactly. Oh, or Brooks? You mean Brooks? Yes. We can review it today. I think there's a new episode out. I'm gonna go watch it, and then we can review it today. We can get into it, you guys. We can get into it. Oh, Lala says yes, Gary Cap. Thank you, sweetheart. Yay! Thank you, my beautiful candy cane, for joining me. And I am going to get back on schedule with more recaps, and then I want to do a video on, I don't know if you guys even care, I could do a video on everything I've been up to for the last few months, and now that all of that is done, my schedule's cleared up and we can come back and have more stuff like this. It's just so exciting. So as always, I love you guys. If you had a great time, subscribe, like the video, and share with a friend, because a kiki is always better with community. I love you guys. Until next time, mwah, be well. Take care of yourself and each other. Bye.